start the recording right now. So as you probably know, you'll need a pen and paper. Just if you think something is interesting, it's worth taking the note. You can sketch something, you can draw something. Well, if you're good at remembering, just feel free to use your memory, but I suggest note taking. And of course, the housekeeping, the session is recorded. You're gonna get the recording afterwards. And there is a chat box and a Q&A. If you have some inspirations, if you've got some comments to share or the questions, just drop them there and we'll try to answer them. And the recordings will be available. Okay, so the growth mindset, and we're gonna start with a bit of history. So this is, I will just provide you with a nice background of every single steps in the psychology, in the development of human beings that actually and probably led to the development of the growth mindset. And then you'll be able just to see the bigger perspective or of this phenomenon of this popularity and on some dangerous aspects that are hidden within this element. So a bit of history. Okay. So there are three elements. The first one is called, it was popular a long time ago, it's called genetic determinism. Basically, it means that your grandfather did it to you. Okay. So, well, I can't do anything about me because I have a short fuse. I'm likely to burst into anger on any occasion. My father had it, my grandfather had it. It was all in the generations, and this seems that I'm programmed this way and I can't do anything about it. Another example is like, don't talk to me in the morning before my first cup of coffee. I'm really nasty at this time, okay? Just don't ask any questions, or don't, we shouldn't have any conversation at this moment because I don't feel like talking. And this been going in my family for ages. So this is how I am, and we can't do anything about it. Okay. So this is the typical examples that people are likely to say, and sometimes you're likely to hear these elements nowadays. Okay. Then in our family there is a tendency towards, I don't know, aggression. There is a talent going on in my family, etc. So this was the first belief. The second belief is called the psychic determinism. It means that your parents did it to you. It's not about your grandfather anymore. It's about your parents. It's how you were treated, how you were raised, how much affection were you shown, were they cuddling you, were they giving you the positive feedback or the negative feedback, were they telling you the world is a beautiful place or maybe dangerous place of people that you shouldn't trust them. And the way you are now is because of these elements. Okay, so it's like when a child is born, is like maybe maximum 6 and 7 years old, and then you are done. Everything is set and you can't do anything about it. Yeah, so this is like a psychic determinism. So that was the third conception, the second conception. And the third conception is called environmental determinism. Basically, your teacher is doing it to you, your boss is doing it to you, the culture you are living is doing this to you. So these are all the elements that are around us at this very moment, and we cannot act differently because our teacher, our boss, our students behave in a way they behave. And since they behave in a way they behave, I cannot act differently. So these were the three deterministic concepts that were present in the history of psychology. And fortunately, we know something more right now, and we know how to learn from these lessons. So Stephen Covey, this is the guy I strongly encourage you to find a TED Talk, to grab his book. And Stevie Covey said that it doesn't mean that we are not genetically influenced, because we are influenced, but we are not genetically determined. Influenced by and determined by are two completely different worlds. The same story is with the second determinist, that this is because of your parents, and the same story is with environmental determinism. That's because of the environment, the people around you. Okay, yes, it's true that we are influenced by, but we are not determined by. Okay, that's a big difference. And probably you know some people around you who say things completely opposite, that we are determined by and we can't do anything about it right now. And you'll know, and you'll have the knowledge that yes, influenced by and determined by are two completely different elements. And if you feel like reading and if you feel like experimenting and getting more and more knowledge, this is the guy. He's called Viktor Frankl, Austrian psychiatrist and psychotherapist. And one of the best books that he produced, it's a must. Just grab the nearest bookshop, just order it online and get this book for yourself. This is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Uh, in his history, he's no longer with us. I think he passed away in 1997. He had this traumatic experience of being imprisoned in the Nazi camps. And during this time, he was being an object of one of the most horrible medical experiments that people could experience. Okay, but he survived this camp. Then he created the method of therapy, which is called logotherapy. And during this imprisonment, he tried to search for meaning, and he tried to answer the question, what is the reason that some people survive, and what is the reason that some people give up? Okay, so initial understanding was in everyday life that there is a stimulus and we have a response. Okay, someone is behaving X, we react Y. Okay, I got grade F, and then my behavior is consequent as a consequence of this grade. So this is what we used to know and what we used to believe. And right now, and well, it was quite a long time ago that we discovered that there is a space between what we are experiencing and how are we responding. And this is the space, and this space means there's freedom to choose. And the Viktor Frankl said that in this space between the stimulus and how we respond lies our freedom. And ultimately, this power to choose is what defines us as human beings. We may have limited choices, but we can always choose. So no matter what is happening to you, or no matter what is happening to your students, they might not know it. You might be the person to transmit the knowledge. Between what is happening and how you respond, there is a space. And in this space, you have a freedom to choose your course of action. Either you will go into the destructive action that will not get you anywhere and will make the situation worse, or you will go into the constructive action that will likely to solve the problem, or maybe if not solve the problem, will give you extra experience. So this is the first fundament which is behind the growth mindset, that between what's happening to you and how you respond, there is a freedom to choose. Now the second one, have you heard of something which is called the marshmallow experiment? Just type it in the chat. Have you heard of something which is called marshmallow experiment? Nope. Okay. No, I haven't. Okay, so the original, the marshmallow is what you can see in the screen. The marshmallow, the first one was the original version was made by Stanford University in 1972. Basically, this experiment looks really nice. Then it was reproduced on and on again by different researchers and scientists. So the story is that there was a scientist and there was a child in the room, and the scientists put the marshmallow, allegedly it was on a favorite sweet of children, on a plate, and the instruction is, oh, listen, let's say, Johnny, I'm gonna leave you here with this marshmallow for 15 minutes. If I come back and the marshmallow will be intact, you will not do anything about it, I will give you second marshmallow. Okay, so we'll have two marshmallows, you need to wait. And then the scientist leaves the room, and there is a camera recording those lovely angels sitting in the room. And after the webinar, I strongly encourage you to just Google the marshmallow experiment video and to watch the reactions of those students trying to just to win with this temptation to eat the marshmallow. Some of them gave up. Just it was like they ate the marshmallow just right after the scientists left the room. Some of them were implementing a very nice strategy, just smelling the marshmallow, touching it gently, moving it from side to side, doing anything but eating. And some people and some students or children actually resisted the temptation, so they received the second marshmallow. So the first experiments, when they had this marshmallow test, then they were following those children in terms of their education, relationships, the certificates, the development in the future years that they were when they were attending schools. And the first observation was that those students, those children who managed to resist the temptation and didn't eat the marshmallow and waited 15 minutes were doing much better in school, had better grades, they had better relations with colleagues, they seemed more talented for some of the reasons. So that was the first observation. This test was reproduced again and again by different researchers and scientists. And actually, the further experiments didn't confirm exactly 100% the findings of the first research. And what we know nowadays is that the first understanding is you've eaten the marshmallow and it will affect your future. It was about delayed gratification. Okay, so it was about the ability to wait and fight and do your best just for the bigger reward. Okay, so in reality, I'm not gonna buy another pair of jeans. I'm gonna put my money in the piggy bank, and after half a year, I will get something bigger. Yeah, and there are some people who say, okay, I can't resist new pair of jeans. I'm gonna get it right now. Okay, because I need it. So the first element that you've eaten the marshmallow, it will affect your life. Okay. What right now, what scientists know, and Angela Duckworth in the psychologist at Pennsylvania University, she once said in her interview, right now we do things like, okay, you've eaten the marshmallow and let's see what can we do about it. Okay. Let's see if there are any possible options that we can help you with in your education, in your relationships, in your studies, in everything. So the eating marshmallow is not by all means determining factor. It could have some influence, but it doesn't say that you cannot win in the process of education. So these were several elements, and I believe they were all laying foundation for something which is called the growth mindset. And on the second corner, in the second corner, there is like a fixed mindset. The person behind the growth mindset, the Carol Dweck, and that's the book. And this book was first published, if my memory serves me right, in 2006. So this is how can we learn to fulfill our potential. It's about the growth mindset, and it was really successful. And some people just literally went crazy, like, oh my God, this is so perfect. Now, since I know the growth mindset, I'm gonna change the educational process. My students will develop and we will just conquer and we'll just move through any obstacles and challenges because it's so perfect. And I'm surely the one who represents the growth mindset. That's what people were saying. Of course, I'm exaggerating a bit just to give you a better picture. So what is behind the growth mindset? We're going to start with the fixed mindset. Can you come up with a definition of a fixed mindset right now? Because I've already told you some information. So how would you define something which is called a fixed mindset? Okay, there is a picture to help you a bit. Fixed mindset. How would you define it? Not flexible, okay. Anything else? Not flexible. Mhm. Rigid. Okay. Anyone else? How do you understand fixed mindset? There are no bad answers. That can be hardly changed and resist change. Okay. Yes. Thanks a lot, Carla. Anyone else? Believing you can't change, set in their ways. Yeah, I can't do anything about it. Sorry. Afraid of something new? Yeah, that could be the result of a fixed mindset. Yep. Mhm. Thanks a lot. So basically the fixed mindset is unable to develop. Great, thanks a lot. This is the your inner belief that you are born with specific talents, with a intelligence that is set on some specific level. Okay, you've got your skills, you've got your abilities, and these are the presents you are born with, or you develop them in your childhood, and then everything is like determined by this belief that you cannot change and you cannot develop. So think of your surrounding and your colleagues, or maybe you, but after the webinar, you will notice people saying things like this to the children. He has a natural talent for maths. He's not talented at languages. He seems to be born to be a doctor because he loves biology. Okay, and he's not meant for geography. He doesn't have talent in this area. So these are the sentences that are actually shaping the fixed mindset of children, and they grow up believing that this is the story. Okay. The second category is something which is called the growth mindset, which is a total opposition of the first one. Maybe not total, because there are some elements of your character that you can't change. As you heard from the very beginning, we are influenced by, but it's not called determinism. Okay, so this is connected with the neuroplasticity of a brain that we now know, and the science confirms that the brain is like a muscle. The more you use it in the appropriate way, the better the results, and you can grow. It's not only about the teenagers, it's not only about the kids, but it's also about adult human beings. That's why some people, as Angela Duckworth stated in her article, some people, when they are adult, they reach a level of good enough in their profession and they stop developing. And because of the fact that they stop developing, this is the beginning of the big mistake they are making. Okay, so the more you learn, the better the training for your brain. So this is something which is behind the growth mindset, but we need to know how to train it, and we need to know what to do to train it. And there was a survey in 2016, because this concept is quite fresh. 600 teachers, K-12 teachers in the USA, and the survey gave a really well. On the one hand, the results were very positive. On the second one, they showed a big field for improvement, because can you guess the numbers? Okay, the 98% of teachers said that, and 20% of teachers said that. Can you finish? Can you guess? What was the score about? The survey was about the growth mindset in their teaching profession. Okay, so what was the score about that? 98% of teachers said that, and 20% of teachers said that. Anyone will try to guess? It was about the growth mindset. 98 thought it was a good idea, 21 are actually using it. Thanks a lot. So you are quite close. So 98% said that yes, the growth mindset, the abilities can be changed. The growth mindset can help students develop and progress through education, but 20% of teachers actually stated that I'm good at it. Only 20% of the teachers admitted that they are good at growth mindset. The percentage of confidence in the fellow teachers was even smaller. So although all the people believe, the percentage and the number of people who actually implement the growth practice in the in their teaching, in the lessons, in the education was quite small, because the result was that we needed skills and the knowledge how to develop it. It's not about learning the growth mindset and understanding the concept, but it's about putting it into practice. And before we start teaching the growth mindset, of students, we need to think about ourselves. What mindset do we have inside? And when I ask this question in open workshops, all the people say, of course, growth mindset. How can I think differently? Because I know it. So these are the questions and these are the sentences that you can answer if you want, but they are more personal. When you are facing challenges at work, do you experience extreme anxiety? Is there a voice telling you, run, run, Forest, don't stay here? Okay, it's too much. Or do you treat them as opportunities to develop, although they can be hard? Okay, so when you experience challenges at your profession, do you treat them with extreme anxiety? You can't sleep, and there is someone telling you, no, 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 I need to go away from here, or you think they are opportunities, although they can be hard. Okay, that's the first example. The second one, when you experience setback in your teaching practice, for example, your group is not listening to you. You are not following, they are not following the rules. They are getting poor grades. Okay, what is happening inside when you experience setbacks? Do you feel incompetent and do you look for an excuse? Do you look for the reason to put the blame on somebody else? Or do you try to understand the situation and think about future what to do in a different way? Okay. The next one, when you experience negative feedback, okay, whether it's negative or positive, that's a different story. We're going to talk about feedback for a second. But when you experience this negative feedback, what's happening inside? Do you become defensive or angry? Are you willing to attack the other person and to tell her that it's not true, it's not right, on condition that this is appropriate negative feedback? Yes, something is happening. Do you feel defensive, angry, or you experience sadness? Or do you feel that even it's negative, this is the inspiration and you finish the conversation with the negative feedback and you don't leave the conversation feeling like, oh my God, that's the worst day of my life. You rather finish and say like, okay, it was hard, but I know what to do and how to improve the things. Okay. So this is the question to answer yourself. When there is someone better than you in your school, so you have the teacher. Right now we are in online meetings, in Zoom, Teams, whatever the platform. And you know that there is this super teacher who is delivering excellent Zoom lessons using good strategies, good materials. And for some reason, the Zoom is working perfectly fine with these teachers. And for you, the Zoom is always crashing down. Okay. What do you have inside? Do you feel envious and do you feel threatened that it could potentially, that this person could potentially take your place? Or do you feel inspired and do you feel that you are eager to learn from this person? That you are ready to call this person, say, hey, I really admire your lessons. And wow, I would say that there's a lot to learn in my own strategies. And I'm wondering if you could help me with it. Okay. So these are the two questions to answer. So as you could see, the first replies were very close to the fixed mindset, and that the second replies, okay, the ones about the inspiration, about opportunities rather than threats, were close to the growth mindset. So before we start teaching our students the growth mindset, we need to see whether we are ready for the growth mindset ourselves, okay? Because one of the surveys showed it was the teachers of maths. Although they were believing and they were claiming that they were using and they were teaching the growth mindset to their students, actually the things they said, the way they behaved, showed that there is a fixed mindset tendency, but they were saying openly that they are teaching the growth mindset. So this is the first dangerous element. There are two main misconceptions about the growth mindset, and sometimes people do not realize it. It's good to know it. The first one, people say that the growth mindset equals effort. The more you try, the better the result. keep trying, keep on doing, eventually you will get there. No, it's not about the growth mindset. And the second misconception, the growth mindset is about praising the effort even if a student is not learning, it's not making progress. Okay, I can see that you're working really hard, and I appreciate it and I compliment you on this, although I see that you are not learning. This is the point about compliments and paying compliments to students and appreciating their hard work. Sometimes after reading, people believe that the growth mindset is about appreciating and complimenting the hard work. No, it's not. And now you'll know it. You'll be better because you'll have the knowledge and the experience. So the first misconception, it's of course about working hard, okay? But if you're working hard and there is no progress, doing the same things will not get you anywhere. The growth mindset states that it's about learning new strategies, how to do things in a different way. So this is the missing element in the first misconception. Okay, the hard work plays a really important role, but it's about the different strategies and teaching students different strategies, how to approach the problem, the challenge in a different way. And the second very important element is like accepting the input from other people. So the students know and understand the feedback or the input given by the teacher and they accept, but at the same time students accept the input given by other students. Okay, so the effort is only one part, new strategies and constantly developing new strategies and accepting input from other people. So this is the first misconception. And the second one, it's good that in the educational process when you prepare students for a test, you concentrate on problems, on the grammars, on the grammar, on the vocabulary, and we try to repair it. The growth mindset, there is an extra element hidden in the growth mindset. This is a future orientation. Okay? So it's okay that you point to mistakes. We're going to talk about mistakes in a second, but we need to always keep in mind that we are future oriented. So, okay, I see that you are working really hard and there are some mistakes here. Let's think what you can do differently next time to help yourself and not to commit the same mistakes again on the next test. Okay? So this is the future orientation. Two important elements of the growth mindset. And the first reaction after reading the book and after this phenomenon was introduced to the world of science is like people sometimes began to adopt either left or right side. So they were saying, okay, I have a fixed mindset and I have a growth mindset. And that was the first trap of this phenomenon. In 2015, Carol Dweck published an article. It was like revising the growth mindset, where she stated that maybe they didn't went into very details about designing who is fixed or who is representing the growth mindset. Maybe the division was a bit exaggerated. So what we should accept, what we should know, that it's rather about the mixture. That the first element, that the first step is to accept that we are a mixture of fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Okay, they are happening interchangeably. There are some elements that you're going to be fixed about, and you might not be conscious of them, but the moment you say it, somebody who is experienced is likely to see that, hi, this represents the fixed mindset. Okay, so the first element is to accept that you are a mixture of growth and fixed, and this is the starting platform to build towards the growth mindset. It's not about someone is growth mindset and someone is fixed mindset. It's not like this. So now the questions that these are the sentences that students are likely to hear and the teachers are likely to say. And when you see the sentence, can you try to name whether it's fixed mindset or growth mindset? The first one: not everybody is good at English, just do your best. Fixed, of course. So now there is an extra challenge. Great that you know. How can you say something similar that would be closer to growth mindset? How can you say something similar that could be closer to growth mindset? Any example? Let's try. Okay, keep trying. Hmm? I told you that it's not only about effort. There are two more elements. How can you say it in a different way so that it would be a bit closer to the growth mindset? Give them motivation, okay? Everybody can make mistakes. Let's see why you got tricked in this exercise. Great, Barbara. I would add, let's see why you got tricked exercise and what can we do in future to get better results. Okay? Everyone can improve their level of English, but we need to add something. If they work hard, if they learn new strategies, and if they accept information from other students, still you can achieve. Okay? Still you can achieve. Don't give up. I would add, keep trying using various strategies. Thanks a lot. The second one: when you learn how to use new grammar structure, it grows your English brain. Fixed or growth? What would you say? Growth, okay. Growth. Uh-huh. Yes, that's true. This is about explaining your student that although the present simple or the present perfect can be hard, but when you learn to it, not only you will get an A on the test or you will get 5 stars on the exam, but it grows your English brain and you will be able to understand more and tackle bigger challenges. Okay. The next one. Don't worry, you will get it if you keep trying. Fixed. Thanks a lot. Hmm. Yeah. Anyone else fixed? Yeah. But these sentences, they were taken from like interviews with people and with teachers and students, and they were like sharing the experience that what are the sentences that we keep hearing from time to time. And when I look at these sentences, I've heard it quite a few times. Don't worry, keep trying, you'll get there. Okay. It's closer to the fixed mindset. It's not, remember, it's not about the effort only. Because if you keep trying doing the same things and implementing the same strategies on and on again, they might not get you to the place where you want. Behind the growth mindset, there is an element that learn a new strategies and tackle the situation from a different perspective. This is how you grow. Mhm. Let's decide which way you should go. Okay, and what can you do to get there? I'm not a good English student yet. Hmm? Fixed or growth? Mm-hmm. Ah, yes, Brigitte, you got it because the first sentence is I'm not a good English student. And this is strictly fixed. The word yet suggests that the person saying it is like having an options open And this word yet suggests that, yes, I can develop. Okay. Maybe right now I fail, but because I fail right now, I can make progress in future. Okay. So this word yet, it was like a small trap. It suggests that it's growth mindset because this person believes that it's not determined. Okay. It's not talent. I can change it. The point isn't about getting it right away. The point is to grow your understanding. What can you try next? Growth, yes. Future orientation, very good. It's a very important question. If you are already doing it in the teaching practice, that's great, because there are some people who naturally go for growth mindset and they work with students, and this is the perfect environment. But if not, think of this question and remember this question. What can you try next? What different strategies can we think of to handle the situation? Okay, so mistakes in the growth mindset are a really important element, as in every teaching. But sometimes, and this is the question without answering, when your students see mistakes and they have mistakes in the tests, do they treat them as something that they should be afraid of and they are not willing to talk about them because I know that my teacher will get angry with me? Or maybe in your teaching practice, there is an atmosphere of something which is called the mistakes. So these are the mistakes you must make in order to go ahead. Okay. So this is the question without answering. Are you closer to mistakes? Okay. And the mistake is a really bad thing. And when it happens, it's like, oh my God, the teacher will get angry. And or is it the culture of a mistakes? So these are the elements that are sometimes actually even welcome, because we know that the moment we make mistakes right now, we're gonna learn from them and we're gonna develop. And do your students know about it? If not, just copy the word mistakes, find it on the internet and print a nice poster and hanging on the wall of your class just to give this signal to your students. There's a culture of mistakes being an embarrassing thing for students. This is the element of a fixed mindset. So the first is like acceptance, and the second one is it working towards the mistakes. And these elements might not be pleasant, but they actually can be a signal that you are likely to make progress in future on several conditions, as I told you before. And the second one, there are two notions. The first one is a feedback. If you haven't heard of a feed forward, just remember the name. It was created by the Professor Marshall Goldsmith, and Google it. So when you think of a feedback, this is taken from the business reality, but this is very connected to the growth mindset. So the feedback suggests that you talk about past, you talk about the problems, you ask the question why is it happening, you are looking for the reason. It's working okay, but in the growth mindset we need to adapt the feed forward approach. So you talk about the situation with your students in a way that all the conversation is directed towards the future. Okay, so that's okay. There are three mistakes in these tests. Okay, there's a problems with the pronunciation or with the adjectives, but it's in the past and we cannot change it. So let's see what can we do and how can we concentrate on the future, because future is a place where the options are. So these are the elements. Okay, so feed forward, Google it. You'll get some nice examples of how to conduct the feed forward conversation. And I'm sure 100% that you're gonna benefit from implementing it into your teaching practice. Okay, time to summarize. The first option, there was like genetic determinism. Okay, we are born with things. We are determined by our grandparents, by the genes. There was psychic determinism. It's about the raising, it's about our parents teaching us and telling us stories. There was the environmental determinism, that the teacher, the boss, the atmosphere, the reality, this is what shapes our behavior and belief. And of course, we are influenced by, but we are not determined by. This is the first element to remember. Then there was a tendency, there was information that there is a fixed mindset. So we are born with our talents, with the intelligence set on a specific level, with our abilities, and we can't do anything about it. Oh, the Mikey is so poor at grammar. Well, that's how it is with him. We can't change it anything. Okay? Or there is a growth mindset, that there is a tendency to believe, which has been scientifically proven. Carol Dweck is the person behind it, that you can actually develop a growth mindset. And there are the things and skills that you can develop. You can train your brain to be more effective and better at grammar if you follow the several reasons. You concentrate, you put effort, and then you implement new strategies. This is of key importance because people keep forgetting about implementing new strategies, and it's about input from other people, so about the effective feedback or feed forward from the teachers and feed forward from the students. And then in the middle you've got that, you see the DJ. This is how I learned about the mixture. It's not about being mixed, it's not about being fixed or growth. The first element is to accept that yes, we are mixed. Sometimes the things I say will suggest that I'm fixed, and sometimes the things I say will show that I'm more into the growth mindset. And this is the starting platform. What to remember about the growth mindset? Concentrate on element and put effort in this activity, but it's only one element. The second element, learn new strategies. There are dozens of strategies to learn vocabulary, grammar, how to master the pronunciation, how to be a better listener, how to be better observer. Yesterday we had strategies taken from mindfulness practice, mindful observation, mindful listening. Okay, so learning new strategies. This is about the input from other people, and the key element is about the future orientation. Okay, so we can talk about the mistakes in the past, but we can talk about the mistakes. So these are the mistakes we need to make in order to go ahead. Okay, and so that will be all for this webinar in the growth mindset. And the question to you, as always, is what is your takeaway? What do you think is worth sharing? What would you like to remember from this workshop? What do you plan to introduce into your working reality? If you could share some elements in the chat, then I would appreciate it. The mistakes, thanks a lot, Teresa. Okay, I need to read a lot. Great, thanks a lot. Just go and read it. This is the nice starting platform. Thanks a lot. Anyone else? We are mixed, okay? Mistakes plus feed forward. The mistakes, the mind maps, great. Everything was great. The idea of the mistakes and the feed forward. Learn about the feed forward. You'll benefit. Thanks a lot, Barbara. Natalie, yes, we are mixed. Yes, that's true. Anyone else? Marshmallow experiment. Just watch it and you'll see that it's wonderful reactions. And remember that it's a part of a history. So right now, there is a tendency to say things like, okay, you've eaten the marshmallow and let's see what can we do about it. As now you know it, that let's see what can we do about it. It's an element of a growth mindset. Okay. Carla Mustake's and the Carol Dweck's book about the mindset. Great. And it's all about doing really little steps. So think of the things you say. It's not a wall, it's a staircase. Great. Yeah. Taking little steps one by one. Think of the things you say to your students. Think how you say them. When you finish like the one-to-one lesson, for example, or the group lesson, think about the future orientation, that when you were like correcting the tests and you were just checking the mistakes, do your students finish these lessons like future oriented, that they know how to put new strategies into practice, or they will just keep on doing and doing and doing and repeating the same thing again and again? In the growth mindset suggests a different approach. Mhm. So if there are no more comments, I really appreciate the fact, okay, Brigitte, of people who have achieved through the effort. The Michael Jordan, yeah, that's true. By all means, just the biographies, learn it. Grammar growth your brain, yeah. The more you learn, it will grow your English brain, okay? So it will develop. So I'm really glad that you love the English brain. Yeah, me too. So I really enjoyed the fact that you were here with me, that you were sharing your thoughts and comments in the chat box. So the session will be recorded. The same session is if in the evening. If you think that there are some teachers that could be potentially interested in learning about the growth mindset, just inform them about this webinar and they can take part. They can also register, but please don't tell them, hi, you are fixed, I think you should learn about the growth mindset. Not in this strategy, but just offer them a solution. Experiment with it, learn a lot, put it into practice, and you see your students develop and overcome any obstacles that are faced, and they are on their way. I really thank you for this webinar, and I hope you're going to have a great day. That would be all.